All right, guys. Injuries from the game. Dre Greenlaw, irritation of his core muscle. Same injury he's had. He irritated. It'll be day to day. See how this week goes. Tavius Street had a wrist sprain. He's day to day. Fred Warner had a hamstring strain. Expected him. He'll be out this week. Hopefully, be back the next one. Marcel Harris, he's in the concussion protocol. Deebo Samuel has a groin strain, really similar to Fred. Expected to miss 1 to 2 weeks. Trey Sermon had an ankle sprain. It's not high, but it was a pretty bad one. He'll be out for a little while. That was it from the game. Go ahead.
Kyle, is that news on Deebo and Fred somewhat relieved that it wasn't anything worse?
Yes, that's what I was kind of telling you guys last night that I hoped for, that it was just a strain, and strains usually, anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks, which I think was very good news considering what it could have been.
What happened with Marcel Harris? Did he go back into the game and then afterwards get diagnosed with a concussion?
Yeah, he got put in the tent for us to check. He passed, or the league put him in there. He passed that. He went back in. After the game, he passed all that, too, after the game evaluation. This morning he came in, though, with symptoms, and when you come in the next day with symptoms, you get put in it.
Was Deebo's groin injury, I mean, he had something in 2019, I think, that kept him out of a game. Was it similar to that where he feels that it's not as serious?
Yeah, I believe so. Talking to him about it, I think he was comparing a little bit to what he had in the Rams games in 19 against Washington the next week and was back the week after that. So hopefully it plays similar to that.
How do you go about filling in for a guy like Deebo, even for a short period of time, given how much he does for you, Kyle?
He's been a big part of our offense, but I think we're in a spot right now that we can overcome that. Bill came in yesterday and made a huge play. Ayuk's been stepping it up each week, doing better. You guys see Juwan coming along. Love to give Travis Benjamin more opportunities anyways, having his speed out there, and Kittle's getting healthier and better each week, and our run game's been doing well too.
Elijah Mitchell, he's been dealing with a lot of injuries.
So what was that about Elijah?
How did he come out of the game? I know he's been dealing with a lot of injuries.
Yeah, I got no reports on anything new from him, so I think he was a success with his ribs and his finger. Sure, he's a little sore today, but no injuries.
And what does it say about him and his ability to continue on with all of that, with those injuries and dealing with the pain?
It shows that he has the ability to be a true NFL running back. I mean, that's what's so hard about that position at any level, especially at this level. It's guys hit hard. It takes a lot out of guys, but he's a dude who he doesn't act like he feels it on game day. He plays through that stuff. He plays hard. He makes them keep bringing it. I feel like he gets stronger as the game goes, and those are the type of guys that last.
Kyle, would you expect Trey Sermon to have to go on IR?
Yeah, I think most likely it'll be short-term IR because it sounds like it's going to be a few weeks, but we haven't decided that yet.
Kyle, I wanted to just follow up. When you said you went to the field judge before the out-and-out route to Deebo, and just saying you thought Bruin was going to have the pass interference. I mean, I don't say this in kindly, but that's a pretty brash move. I mean, that to assume that that's going to happen. Why were you so confident that play call and that route was going to work?
Well, you just know. I mean, we just know where the ball is usually going and stuff based off the coverages. And when we get in a lot of our tight splits and everything, it can get real hard for the refs. Who's the outside guy, who's the number 2, who's the number 3, especially with your switch releases. So when you got a route that's in a bunch, it's going to end up being the outside guy, and it's a double move type thing. You always try to give the ref a heads up on it so he can anticipate what's going to happen before the play. guys in the right spot, and then it's more. I mean, they'll call it if they see it, definitely, usually, but it's more about making sure that they watch the right guy.
Kyle, a couple of weeks ago, you said the only game you really went into committed to playing Jimmy the whole time was the Bears game, I believe. Since then, obviously, it's gone the way it's gone. Have you gone into other games saying it's only going to be Garoppolo?
I haven't said it for sure. I mean, we still always have that stuff up and always carry it, but it's been more about me, like, to tell you the truth, in terms of, just call plays and stuff. We get into a rhythm of attacking the defense and, what fronts they're playing, what coverages, and every play kind of plays off the next play, and you get a feel, our players do and I, of kind of what we're going to. And what's kind of what's been hard on me that I didn't realize is when you do bring in a quarterback who gets a different set of plays, then it's almost like it's the first play I've been seeing of a new defense. Because now, you see what fronts and coverages are doing, but they're doing it completely to a plan of a threat as a runner at the position. I don't know what to anticipate with it, and then I got to stay in it for a while to get a feel for that. And then when you go back, that feels kind of off for the last guy. So it kind of hurts my rhythm a little bit of understanding what the defense is getting and stuff. And that's why I personally, as the years gone, I've gotten a little bit more away from it because I like to get a feel for what the defense is doing.
Do you think it's allowed, however much he was thinking about it, has helped Garoppolo get into more rhythm too?
I don't think so. I think when we were doing it at the beginning of the year, he was looking like the same he does now. So, you could ask him, but I never felt that way. That's not what made me go with it less.
Kyle, I know that statistics don't always tell the whole story, but since the Bears game, Jimmy ranks first in quarterback rating in the league and is also first in yards per attempt. Are those statistics a reflection of what you're seeing from him on the field?
Yes, he's playing very well right now, and our whole team is. So usually, those guys, everything feeds off each other, and especially when you go into ratings and stuff like that, you're put in some more positions when you're running the ball well like that, and I think our receivers have gotten a lot better and are playing. I think our receivers just as a whole and our tight ends and our running backs as a group are playing better now in this last month than they did, much better than they did earlier. And obviously when that stuff happens, usually the quarterback will too. So it's such a team sport with that stuff. And Jimmy, I do think, is getting better each week. But also the guys around him have a big deal with that too.
Kyle, where's Steve Ford in his rehab?
We tried him out last week. Hoped to ease him in a little bit and hoped he'd be able to go, and he wasn't able to. So try the same plan this week and see if it does better.
Kyle, when you look at Charlie Warner and the way he's been able to block the past couple of weeks, is this what you envisioned for him, and what has he been able to contribute to the offense in that way?
Charlie's been a real good blocker. All three of those guys have done a real good job for us. Everyone knows how good Kittle does, and Charlie just, Dwelly does a lot of the dirtier work and does some things similar to what Juice does. And Charlie, he can do some of the things a little more similar to Kittle, which is the bigger guys on the line of scrimmage and things like that. And we went into the year hoping and expecting him to be good, and he's lived up to that, and he's gotten better each week at the stuff. And when we've asked him to make some plays in the past game, he has. I know he has the ability to make more, just doesn't get a ton of opportunities at it. But I thought he had a big one in the game, too, on the 2nd and 8, where he caught it in the seam and fell forward for about 11-yard gain.
Kyle, in that Cardinals game, Kyle, in that Cardinals game a few weeks ago, you ran it 9 times, and afterwards you said that was mostly predicated on what the defense was doing with 6 defensive linemen and things like that. It seemed like yesterday the Vikings were loading the box a lot, and you were still insistent on running the ball. Just what's changed philosophically for you the last few weeks in terms of your commitment to the running game, or is it just a product of those guys playing better, like you mentioned a little bit earlier?
No, I don't want to get. I've already said way too much schematically. I tend to do that too much, but what Arizona was doing at that time was way different than what Minnesota was doing. So just an 8-man front compared to 60 linemen and same coverage every play with it. that it was kind of just daring you because we showed that we want to do it. So like that was a totally different case that we wanted to end. That obviously didn't work out, but that's not what we're going against now. But I do think we're running the ball a lot better now. I do think we're doing a lot better on third down right now. And some of those plays that we started out throwing the ball in those looks versus Arizona, they're a lot more confident that we'd make those now too.
Carl, you had said after that Colts loss that you didn't feel like you yet to get into a sustained play calling rhythm. I know you mentioned just the stuff about different quarterbacks, but what other factor? I assume you have since felt like you have gotten a play calling rhythm. What are some of the factors that's led to that? Do you think?
I mean, I was just asked if I felt like I've gotten into great rhythms for a whole game. I think that time, and I hadn't felt like we did for a whole game. There had been times, and when I think I get worried answering some of those questions because it sounds so much like talking about me as a play caller and when it's been good and when it's bad. Like stuff goes hand in hand. When I'm doing good as a play caller, it has to do with that we prepared the players right, we've got them in the right looks, and it takes everyone in this building, coaches and players, and going through all the stuff, and it's all tied together. And when I'm doing bad as a play caller, it's called for some bad looks, and we haven't got the guys ready to get out of all those bad looks. It's not just succeed or fail. It's about, hey, it might not be a premier look, but you still get 4 yards. You don't have a turnover. You still stay on the field. You still get to call another play. And I just think as a whole group, we've done better at that stuff, and that's coaches, players, everybody. But this whole rhythm of getting in as a play caller, it's a lot easier, I think, when you stay out on the field longer. And I think it has been abnormal with us these last few weeks of having, some drives where we've been out there for a long time. And when you get to do that, you get to kind of unlock the defense, see everything they're doing, and that really helps you have ideas and stuff on how to counteract those plays. And I think it also helps the players get a lot more comfortable and to a rhythm and not pressing so much when you have some 3 and outs. But man, a lot of that. I mean, we were about to go 3 and out when we were down 14-7, and we hit a 3rd and 13. And right after the 3rd and 13, I think we had about 4 runs in a row for a touchdown. And whether that's because you got into a rhythm or we just hit a big 3rd and 13, picking up a big blitz, and then whatever that is, that's what we needed. Our 120 play drive, I think it was 13 passes and 7 runs. Even though it felt like we were running it most of the time, it still was majority passes. So each one's been done differently. That's what you just work each week to try to do it the best you can.
Kyle, it seems like you just asked more out of Juwan Jennings in recent weeks. At first, it was just like a screen here and there. Now he's catching seams, slants, like he's getting red zone targets, and you even ran double move in the red zone for him. Have you always had this confidence in him to run the full route tree? And can you just talk about his development during the past month as you continue to call his number?
Yeah, he's getting his number called more because he got an opportunity when Sanu got hurt. So that's made him out there a lot more. And you call certain plays, you get certain coverages. And then that game, after we hit that 3rd and 13, they didn't blitz the rest of the game on 3rd down. And when you don't blitz, a lot easier to cover Kittle and Deebo and stuff out over the middle and things like that. And a number of those, twice in particular, 2 of the ones you mentioned, led to Juwan getting it on the outside. And you don't just call it saying, hey, you're going to Juwan. You put guys in the right spot, and then you got to see what defense they're playing. And but Juwan we believed in Juwan. We've been hoping he would come on and string some more weeks together where he'd stay healthy and things like that and get more consistent. And I think that's really been picking up here this last month, and he's definitely taken advantage of his opportunity.
Kyle, when Juszczyk tried to get into the end zone by hurtling from the 5-yard line, was that a reflection of the confidence he has in his athleticism?
I feel like that question was a setup, but maybe. I guess so. I recommend that he doesn't. I love when he tries so hard. That's what Juice is made out of. But on that one in particular, there's a very small chance of jumping over 8 people in front of you for 6 more yards. I'd rather him eliminate the risk of a fumble. Just cover it up with every point of pressure and lower his head and go forward. But I'm not going to be mad at him for trying, but that one was not worth the risk.
Kyle,
Kyle, with Fred Warner being out. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Kyle,
with Fred Warner being
under criticism.
With Fred Warner
Jennifer,
being out, Aziz will take over. Thank you. With Fred Warner being out and Aziz taking over the mic role, what have you seen from him? How has he taken over with this extra responsibility?
We'll see how he does it this week. You know, we don't do it right away in the game, but I mean, Aziz has been ready for anything we've asked him to, and I think you guys can tell. I mean, he always runs around and plays like his hair's on fire, and that he loves playing the football game, but that's not changing. But he's just getting more and more confident of where to be, what to anticipate, and he's playing at a real high level right now, and that's why he's got his hand on the ball twice. One with the pick, which was an awesome job keying that quarterback, and then just being around after Kevin got that strip. And Aziz, I mean, he's been playing a high level all year, and whether he's inside or outside, I expect it to continue. We need it to continue because one of the reasons we're playing pretty good right now.
Go ahead, Tim. Last round. Yeah, D'Amico was getting some criticism a few weeks ago, and obviously less so now. How do you think that's gone with him? Have you talked with him, and has it all been similar to like Salah's first couple of years where he was getting some heat, just dealing with that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar for all coordinators. I mean, that's where it's nice. The more experience you get doing it, the more you get kind of hardened a little bit because that happens to everybody. It's part of the job and part of the business. And we weren't playing as good as we could, and D'Amico knew that. But I mean, just me watching him go through it for the first time, it was pretty cool to watch him go through it because he acted like he had been there before. He didn't let it wear on him. Sometimes that stuff does on people, and it wears on their family. Kind of feel it on him. And I didn't feel that at all from D'Amico. I just felt him hunker down. I felt him go to work. And you see his energy, as you guys probably have seen, it's always pretty positive. His energy never changed. And when people know you're getting attacked and you can still act the same way and treat people the same way, I think it goes a long way for players. And then I thought it was impressive to me how, when adversity hits, like, that stuff should make you better if you handle it the right way because it gets you to focus harder, it gets you to attack things a certain way, and D'Amico's made of the right stuff, and so I think he's been successful in whatever he's done. You just got to give him some time and he'll figure it out.
Thank you, guys.